Hi, I'm Isabel Potter, and this is for the Strasberg Video Journal. So one of the first major things that I learned about within the first reading that we did was about the Strasberg's the method being written unbiasedly. I really enjoyed that the author made it unbiased. I know this isn't a literature review, but it was really helpful for me to understand the bigger picture, to see that there were successes that came out of it, because when we read about group theater, we did discuss a lot about the negativities of the method and how it emotionally impacted actors negatively. So being able to read this with an unbiased opinion and seeing that there were successes out there from the method was good for me to be unbiased and to understand, oh, maybe this is why this is still popular and still being talked about and still being taught at universities. So that was really good for me to enjoy for the reading. My second point from the chapter itself would be how group members were the ones to criticize it. I found it very interesting that they were the ones to write the books, to criticize how it negatively impacted actors. The reason this is so interesting to me, because there must be some truth to it, right? If actors who went through it and experienced the method or observed it and saw how it impacted others, I think that it has to have some truth about how the negativity is. Now, does this mean that every person who went through the method is going to love it or use it? Absolutely not. Not every method is built for every actor. It definitely depends on what works best for you. So I did find it interesting that the group members were the ones to criticize it and write books about it. My other point was with Strasberg's the method kind of being a mixture of everything. We talk about how Strasberg started with Stanislavski as its core, but kind of drew off from different areas of other methods. So the method is kind of a mixture of others, and I think that's important for us to understand. As much as he preaches that it's Stanislavski, it is a mixture, which once again could work for him, but not every other actor out there. And maybe it works for some of his disciples, but not all of them, and that's okay. From the other chapter, I kind of learned that it was very interesting, once again, drawing from other ones. But when I teach different methods out there, Meisner, Stanislavski, I want to make sure that I make it more distinguishable. This is kind of something that impacted me from this chapter. I want to make sure that I distinguish the differences, because yes, they do have similarities. We're all acting. But I want to make sure that those methods and the differences stand out for the students, so that way they can know, oh, this method works more for me than this one does because of these differences. Or they can understand and point out those methods because of the differences, and that's important. So learning that Strasberg kind of confused some of Stanislavski's methods is important to me, to make sure that I, as a teacher, am very distinguishing about the different methods for my students. Another point of view is, when I do teach my methods, I want to make sure that the kids can go, oh, I really like this method worked for me, or maybe this part of the method worked for me, but this part didn't. So it's important that they can draw from different ones to create a method that works for them individually. I think it's important because, once again, not everything is going to work for every actor. So I find it important that the students can draw from each one and find what works best for them to pull out those characters, which I kind of think is what Strasberg did, whether or not he realized it. He had Stanislavski, and that was his main core, but then I think he pulled from other directions. So I think it's important that there is a variety for everyone out there. Thank you.